In a small village nestled between rolling hills and golden fields, there lived a boy named Adi. He had a busy life in the city, filled with meetings, messages, and missed calls. Yet, there was one place where the noise in his head softened, the quiet little house where his grandmother lived. Every now and then, when the burden in his chest became too heavy and the world felt too fast, he would visit her. He didn't always say it, but something about her wrinkled hands, her slow movements, and her knowing eyes made him feel like time wasn't slipping away so fast. This visit was one of those days. Adi hadn't slept much. He had everything people usually envy, a good job, people who cared for him, a comfortable home. But inside, he carried a restlessness he couldn't explain. As he sat by the kitchen window, staring at the birds in silence, his grandmother placed a cup of warm tea in front of him. She sat beside him, folding her hands in her lap, and for a long time, neither of them spoke. Then, in her soft, grainy voice, she said, "You know, I used to feel that same ache in my chest when I was your age." Adi looked at her, surprised. His grandmother always seemed so composed, so full of grace, like someone who had life all figured out. But today, her eyes held a memory, and her voice trembled with something long buried. And then, she told him a story. "When I was a little girl," she began, "I lived in a town not very different from this one. My mother was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. She was radiant, not just in appearance, but in the way she walked, the way she laughed, the way people looked at her when she entered a room. She was a dreamer, too. Always wanting more. Bigger cities, brighter lights." Her voice paused as she looked out at the fading sun. "I was 6 when she left. She said she was going to the city to build a better life for both of us. She hugged me and told me to be strong, that she'd be back soon. I waited by the door every evening. I imagined her walking up the path with sweets and stories. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months." Adi swallowed quietly. "She wrote letters at first. Promised she'd come to take me with her. But those letters stopped too. Eventually, even my memories of her started to blur. I didn't know what her voice sounded like anymore. I only remembered her perfume, jasmine and sandalwood. That lingered the longest. Her eyes welled, but she smiled. My aunt raised me. She wasn't affectionate, but she fed me, clothed me, taught me to be strong. And I grew up learning not to expect too much from love. Not because I didn't want it, but because I feared it might leave again." Adi looked down. His heart sank at the thought of his own missed calls to her. The quick visits. That next time, promises. "I spent years wondering why she didn't come back," she continued. "Was I not enough? Was she too busy, or had she simply moved on?" Then came the part she never told anyone before. "When I was 27, I saw her again. By accident. In a market. She was with another family. Laughing. Holding a child. I stood still, frozen in that moment. And she didn't recognize me. Or maybe she did, but chose not to." She turned to Adi, eyes sharp now. "That day, I learned something not from anger, but from truth. People may leave, intentionally or not. But what they leave behind in someone's heart, that lingers longer than they realize." Adi felt something shift inside him. A weight he hadn't known he was carrying. His grandmother placed her hand gently over his. "We all take people for granted, Adi. We think they'll wait. We think love is endless, that forgiveness is automatic. But hearts are tender things. Even the strongest ones get tired." She leaned back, staring at the sky as the light faded. When someone loves you silently, consistently, without asking for anything, don't assume they don't need your love in return. They do. Even more than you know. Then she looked at him directly. "I'm not telling you this to make you feel guilty. I'm telling you because we live in a world where people shout to be heard, and yet, the ones who whisper are often the ones who care the most. And so, As Adi drove back to the city that night, her story echoed in his heart. But more than her words, it was what he felt, the realization that presence is a gift, and that the people who wait quietly often carry the heaviest love. He thought about his mother, who waited up every time he came home late. His best friend, who always checked in even when Adi didn't reply for days. His father, who never said much but always filled the fuel tank of his car before a trip. He saw it all now. All the love that had lived in the background, unnoticed, unthanked, underappreciated. We often realize the value of someone only when their presence turns into memory. Even the most patient hearts grow weary when they are taken for granted. People don't just want your time, they want your attention, your presence, your seeing. So many of us believe we'll have time. We'll visit our parents next month. We'll call our friend tomorrow. We'll write that message when we're free, but life is slippery. Time doesn't pause for intentions. And people, no matter how strong their love, grow tired of waiting to be seen. Gratitude isn't just saying, thank you. It's showing up. It's listening fully. It's making people feel like they matter, not because they ask for it, but because they do. Adi didn't need absence to teach him presence anymore. He didn't wait for silence to appreciate a voice. He went home and hugged his mother, long, without words. He called his best friend and just listened. He sent his grandmother a picture of the tea they shared, and underneath, he wrote, "I'm still listening, Amma." Don't wait for loss to teach you what presence could have. Look around. Say the words. Be where your heart is needed. Because the greatest tragedy isn't that we lose people. It's that we didn't treasure them while we had the chance.